So with the return of Young Justice right around the corner, I figured I'd do a tier ranking of the main heroes throughout. I'm not including Justice League members and stuff like that, just members that have been part of a team. Black Lightning is the only Justice League member I'm including, because to be fair, he isn't a member of the Justice League anymore, and he's been heavily involved with Dick in the Outsiders storyline in Young Justice Outsiders. So that's why he's being included and other Justice Leaguers aren't. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this list. Aqua Girl, or Tula. I don't have anything against her, but she didn't leave much of a mark on me, so I'm gonna put her in the C tier. I think she's an average character for this show. Not a ton of development, but there's enough there to kind of know her character. And I'm gonna go ahead and skip to Tempest because I really think the same thing about him, just the same thing I said about Aqua Girl. So let's go ahead and do Aqualad. Aqualad was a great character. I loved him in Season 1, and his arc in Season 2 is just fantastic. I love his deception because you really don't know at first, did he really go to the dark side? Is he really with Black Manta? And just how he deceived the light, and it was just amazing. I love Aqualad. They haven't done too much with them in Young Justice Outsiders. I'm hoping they do more in the back half. But he's an S tier character for me. Same with Roy, S tier. I love the whole, like in Season 1, the whole thing with him not appreciating how the Justice League are treating them, so he kind of goes out on his own, and then in Season 2 you find out that he was cloned and all that. And the whole storyline with him in Season 2, his battle against Lex Luthor and Mercy, that's really memorable. Just a lot of memorable stuff with Roy. He's done a lot of great things. So S tier. Batgirl. Now, I wish they would have done more of Barbara. She's actually a big part of Season 3 because she's kind of always in Dick's ear. We haven't seen her too much in Outsiders, but we saw her enough in Season 2. I wish they would have done a bit more with her. But I think she's B tier just for Young Justice. Like, she's a perfectly good character, but compared to some other characters in this show, she's not quite A material, I don't think. Beast Boy. Now, a lot of people love Beast Boy. I've always liked Beast Boy. I've never really loved him though, and I can't say I love him in Young Justice either. Maybe the second half of Season 3 can turn me to loving him because it looks like they're going to be doing quite a bit. Because they didn't do too much with him in the first half of Young Justice Season 3, and they did enough with him in Young Justice Season 2. I didn't love him in Season 2. I've liked him more in Season 3 than I did in Season 2 so far because he has gotten older and gotten a bit more mature. I'm just not a fan of like immature characters, and I know that fits his character, so I don't really hold it too much against him or another character we'll be coming up on soon. So I'm going to put him in the B tier with Batgirl. Black Lightning. I'm loving Black Lightning in Young Justice Outsiders so far. In previous seasons, he didn't really do anything. You saw him in Season 2, I believe, but he like had no speaking role that I can remember. But he's really left his mark in the first half of Season 3, and I'm thinking he's going to be a big character in the second half, and he's going to be great like he is in the first half. So I'm going to put him in the A tier. I don't think he's on that level that Aqualad and Roy are, but great character. Blue Beetle, massive part of Season 2, but I'm just not a huge Blue Beetle fan, and I know the whole Scarab taking over is like a big part of his character, but it just kind of annoys me at times. It's like, he's had this thing for how long, and he still doesn't have it completely under control. I don't hold it too much against the character though, so I'm going to put him in the B tier. I think he's on Beast Boy level. Probably like Beast Boy slightly more, but Bumblebee, I think she's a B tier too. You know, she's not, I don't think she's as well loved as some of these other characters, but I like what Young Justice did with her. Cyborg. I'm going to have to put Cyborg in the B tier just because he's only been in 3 or 4 episodes, and we got the whole Cyborg origin arc, which was really good, and we got him joining the Outsiders, and it looks like Father Box isn't going to be taking him over anymore, so I think he'll be a more interesting and compelling character in the back half of Season 3. But before that happens, I'm putting him in the B tier. Forager. Forager might be my favorite Outsider thus far. I do like him more than Geo-Force, and I think Halo's on about the same level as him. But just the dialogue he has at times is hilarious. He does kind of get on my nerves at times when he repeats certain things because they overdo it a little bit and he repeats something way too much. Especially on rewatches, it gets really annoying, but for the most part, I absolutely love Forager, so I'm going to put him in the A tier. Geo-Force. I think his arc has been pretty good with Tara missing and all that, and him just wanting to find her, and they finally did find her, and she may not be the same Tara you remember, so second half of the season should definitely be interesting. That's something I can say about a lot of the Outsiders, is the first half did build them up pretty well, but the second half may take their character in a new direction that elevates them. I think Geoforce is the biggest example of that, because I do like him a lot, but I can't say I love him. He's another character that he kind of got on my nerves at times, but I think as the show went on, he started to do it less and less. And he does have some hilarious moments, but I'm going to put him in the B tier. I don't like him as much as I do Forger. Guardian hasn't had really anything to do in Season 3. Don't remember him being too big a part in Season 1, but Season 2 I remember him having a few good episodes. Really loved his dynamic with Bumblebee. That's a big reason I love Bumblebee so much, so I'm going to have to put him in the B tier with her. Halo. Now, Halo, I said Forger might be my favorite Outsider. Halo does rival her though. I really like Halo and Forger. They are definitely my two favorite Outsiders. I like them more than Geoforce and Cyborg so far. And I kind of liked Halo discovering who she was and stuff. Her arc has been pretty interesting. And she's just like a likable character, you know, she's got a lot of love in her. So I'm going to put her in the A tier. Impulse. Okay, slash Kid Flash became Kid Flash in Season 3, and they haven't done much with him becoming Kid Flash. He's only been in really the first episode, then episode 5 when they went to New Genesis. We haven't seen much else of him. I feel it looks like we'll be seeing more of him in the back half of Season 3, so I'm excited for that. He did get on my nerves at time in Season 2, but he's still a great character. He doesn't get on my nerves too much because I know I said this about Beast Boy too, it just goes with his character, and I don't know why, but something about him, I just like him a little more than I do Beast Boy. So I'm going to put him in the A tier. I really loved his interactions with Kid Flash in Season 2 and Barry, his interactions with Iris so far in Season 3. He just goes well with a lot of other characters. Kid Flash, no doubt S tier. I think he's probably my second favorite character in the entire show, but I think he had the best arc in the entire show. His arc in Season 2 was absolutely great, with him wanting to be faster and him kind of being looked down upon just because he wasn't as fast as the other speedsters. So yeah, I'm going to put him in the S tier. I'm really hoping we get him back. I know people have said there's no Speed Force in Young Justice. They never confirmed that though. And his body just disappeared, so I think there is, and I think Wally will be coming back, especially if there is a Season 4 of the show. Lagoon Boy. Now this dude, he really got on my nerves at times, and I don't think him and Miss Martian were really good as a couple. Like, they just didn't mesh for me, you know, you just wanted Superboy and Miss Martian to be together. And like I said, he got on my nerves at times, but I don't think he's necessarily a bad character, because Young Justice just doesn't do bad characters. That's not something the show does. But he is the weakest of these, I think, so I'm going to put him in the D tier. He's not an absolutely terrible character, he just annoys me at times, and I'm glad he's not in the show anymore, honestly. Miss Martian, she's one of my she's probably my least favorite of the original 6 or 7, however many of the originals there were. But I still do like her. She kind of annoys me at times, but that's something I can say about a lot of these characters, and I have said about a lot of these characters, so I'll kind of shut up about that. So I'm going to put her in the A tier. You know, I don't love her, but she is still a fantastic character. Nightwing, I said Wally is probably my second. That's because Dick is first. This whole show has kind of revolved around Dick since Season 1. He was probably the biggest part of Season 1, then Wally probably was the biggest part of Season 2. And so far in Season 3, Dick has once again become the biggest character of the show. And he's really, when you think of Young Justice, you think of Nightwing, you think of Dick Grayson. So no doubt S tier. Now Will Harper, clone of Roy. I really like him. We've been seeing a lot of his character and how he is different from Roy in Season 3. And I've loved him in Season 3 so far. Bowhunter Security is great. So I'm going to put him in A tier. I don't think he's as good as Roy yet anyway. And I don't think he compares to the 4 that are in the S tier so far. Tim Drake, really the same I said about Batgirl. He did have some stuff to do in Season 2, and he's had some to do in Season 3 as well, but I feel like the show can just do so much more with his character, and I'm hoping they do a lot more with his character, because Tim Drake is such a great character in the comics and in other media, and he has such great potential that I know Young Justice can utilize well. But for now, from what we've seen, I'm going to put him in the B tier. Rocket. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember her extremely well. I kind of do. I need to rewatch Season 1 and Season 2. But I remember her being a big part of Season 1 at least, and I believe in Season 2, I think she's part of the Justice League. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly. But I remember her being a pretty big part of Season 1 and an important contributing factor to the team, so I'm going to put her in the B tier just for that fact. Static. This is a character that hasn't had way too much to do in the show so far. I'm feeling like they may explore his character a bit more because they've kind of hinted at him, like they want us to know he's still there, so I feel like they're going to take him somewhere. I'm not sure where that is yet. So I'm going to put him in the C tier because I did like the whole arc in Season 2 of he was kind of a runaway and then he became part of the team. Black Lightning was his protege. All that was pretty cool. Superboy, another S tier. These OG members, all of them except for Miss Martian, I absolutely adore, and they probably are my favorite characters on the show. And Superboy, just the whole Cadmus arc with him coming to terms of not being Superman, him being his own person, his dynamic with Miss Martian, and just the rest of the team. It's so great. Superboy, I've never been the biggest Superboy or Superman fan, but in this show, I absolutely love Superboy. Tigress. Artemis. I did not like Artemis when they first introduced her in the show. In Season 1, I really thought she was kind of annoying a lot of the time, and I just didn't really like her character until the end of Season 1 when she finally got with Wally, and then in Season 2 when she was with Wally, her character just elevated. It shot up so much for me, and I've been loving her in Season 3 so far. She went from one of my least favorite characters on the show to one of my favorites. That's just a detriment to the writing of Young Justice. Wonder Girl, another character, kind of like a lot of these, that has a lot of potential, but the show just hasn't done too much with them because they have all these other characters that they've been focusing on. I feel like if they focused a little more on her, developed her character a little more, I would like her a lot more. But right now, she's just okay to me. She's not bad, she's not amazing. So I'm going to put her in the C tier. And Zatanna. I want to see more of Zatanna. I want to see... I want to know why. I'm sure this is probably in a comic or something, like prelude comic to Season 3 or Season 2, how her and Dick split up. I'm sure that's somewhere, but I want to know the answer to that. I wish the show would have explored it, but it never did. Love Zatanna in Seasons 1 and 2. I want to see more of her in Season 3. She's just a really interesting character, and I think the show does her justice. So I'm going to put her in the A tier. So I kind of rearranged the list to better fit my actual ranking of these characters, and honestly these characters are just so hard to rank that this can change on any day. Other than maybe my top two, I think Nightwing and Kid Flash are locked in as my two favorite characters of this show. I just think the writing serves them so well, and it serves most of these characters well. There are some characters that this show needs to focus on a little more because they have a lot more potential than what the show is giving them. But yeah, that's my ranking. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys sometime.